Welcome back to the Super Memory for Schools programme. Today I will accompany you in Unit 10, Recycling, Lesson 3. And in Unit 10 today, Lesson 3, we will focus on a very important grammar of English 8, that is passive voice. Passive voice. First, let's find out what the definition of a passive sentence is. Passive voice is a sentence where the subject is a personal thing that is affected by the action, used for emphasis on the object affected by the action, and the tense of the passive sentence must follow the tense of the active one. We have the following example. Active sentence. John does the housework. And we will have the passive sentence. The housework is done by John. This is a good example of a passive sentence. Let's take a closer look at the formulas of passive sentences. First, to understand the passive sentence, we must understand its general structure. A normal sentence is composed of the following components: subject plus verb plus object. And when we make the transition from the normal active sentence to a passive sentence, please remember only one word: cross. What is cross? That is, we will bring the object of the active sentence down to the subject of the passive sentence. Change the subject of the active sentence into the by-object of the passive sentence, and with the verbs we will turn down. But we will use the same formula, that is, be plus verb 3 ed. Let's take a closer look at passive formula in some tenses. In English, there are 12 tenses. These 12 tenses have 12 passive formulas together. But in this lesson, I will tell you the passive formulas of tenses we have learned from grade 6 to grade 8 only. They are simple, present, simple past, present perfect, present continuous, and future and modal verb. First, let's learn about the passive formula of simple present. In the active form of the present simple you get from grade 6, that is what we will build sentences using. Subject plus verb, add s or es plus object. We add s or es when our subject is singular to convert it to the passive sentence. You will apply the following formula. Subject plus am/is are plus verb 3 ed plus by object. Let's see the following example. Kim speaks English. Kim is the subject of the active sentence. Speak is the verb ses, and English is the object. So now, please remember for me the word cross that I told you earlier. We will bring the object of the active sentence to the front of the passive sentence, and bring the subject of the active sentence down as the object of the passive sentence. Let's watch. English is spoken by Kim. Is spoken is the verb to be, am/is/are, and verb 3 ed of speak is spoken. Let's look at the simple past. This tense we have learnt in grade 7. The formula of the active sentence is in simple past. Subject plus verb 2 ed plus object. Verb 2 ed is the past simple. To change it into passive, we will apply the formula. Subject plus was/were plus verb 3 ed plus by object. Let's consider the following example. Ming bought a new car. Continuing to do cross, we'll take a new car in front of the subject. A new car was bought by Ming. Was is chosen from was/were. Bought is the verb 3ed. Continue to present perfect. This is a tense we have just learned in Semester 1, Grade 8. Formula, in its active form, we will have subject plus have/has plus verb 3ed plus object. Have/has will be conjugated according to the subject, and when we change it to passive, it will look like this. Subject plus have/has plus been. The word been will follow this tense in all sentences, not the subject. Plus verb 3ed plus by object. Let's look at an example. Cindy has learned Japanese for 10 years. Cindy is the subject. Has learned is the verb. Japanese is the object. We put Japanese to the front to become a subject. Japanese has been learned by Cindy for 10 years. Next is present continuous, which was also learned in grade 6. We will review its formula. Subject plus am/is/are plus verb plus object. Change to the passive voice. Subject plus am/is/are plus being. Being is always used with the present continuous passive. Plus verb 3ed plus by object. Let's look at an example. John and Nam are playing soccer. John and Nam is the subject. Are playing is the verb, and soccer is the object. Cross over, we have soccer is being played by John and Nam. Next we come to the modal verbs. To build a sentence in the modal verb group, we will apply the following formula. Subject plus will/can/may/should. And there are many more modal verbs, not only 4 words. Here I only take 4 typical examples. When changing it to the passive voice, it will have the form subject plus will/can/may/should plus be. Please keep the word be when you use modal verbs passive. Plus verb 3ed. Consider the following example. My teacher will visit me tomorrow. And we will follow the cross rule to bring the word me to the front of the passive sentence. I will be visited. According to the formula, modal verb plus be plus verb 3ed. I will be visited by my teacher tomorrow. One thing you need to keep in mind when we do the exercises on the passive voice is the cases where there is no need to use by object. That's why I've been closing and opening parentheses so far in the formulas we have learned. We will not have by object with the following cases: when the subject of the active sentence is I, you, we, they, he, she, it. Let's take an example. They speak English in the class. They speak English in the class. According to the cross rule, we take English to the front to become the subject, right? English is spoken. Normally here we have to have by object, but the subject of the active sentence is they. Belongs to a group of 7 subjects that do not need by object, so we don't need to add by object. English is spoken in the class. That's enough. When the subjects of the active sentences are unclear subjects, what are the unclear subjects? People or words ending in one, thing, body. For example, anyone, someone, no one, everything, anything, everybody, anybody. Consider the following example. Someone stole my wallet. According to the rule of cross, we will put the wallet to the front to become the subject of the passive sentence. My wallet was stolen. This is the passive sentence of simple past. But please note there is no need to use by someone. The next thing you have to keep in mind when we do the exercises about the passive sentence is the order of the subcomponents. You guys remember three words: place, by, time. What do these three words mean? Let's see the following example sentences. Nam bought a new pencil at the bookstore yesterday. Now, just change it into passive. Nam, subject, bought. Verb, a new pencil, object. Let's put the object as the subject of the passive sentence. A new pencil was bought. According to the passive formula of the simple past tense, we have up to three subcomponents to sort here. First, we have at the bookstore. Second, we have by Nam. Third, we have yesterday. If you put these three components in the wrong order, you are going to be random. You will not be counted. Because we have a single accepted order: place, by, time. At the bookstore is the place. We put first by Nam, by object, and last yesterday, time. Finally, to sum up passive voice, please remember general form, the general formula of passive sentences. Passive intenses, the passive formula intenses. And two notes: when we do a passive sentence, that is, passive without by object, and the order of the subcomponents with three words: place, by, time. That's all we need to keep in mind about passive voice in today's lesson. See you in the next lesson in the Super Memory for Schools program. Goodbye, and see you again.